not to pick on other states, but some states, oh, there's a kid governor, we'll give him a little pin and we'll do a little ceremony. Some of the ideas that Charlie has brought, we've actually backed up with money, we've got backed up with programs, we've created programs around what Charlie has done, and it's absolutely inspirational. So with no further ado, Charlie, come on up and just tell us how you
did. Thank you, Governor Sununu, for introducing me. Also, thank you, Dr. Favaza, I think. Ms. Kamen, Councilor Gatsis, and the entire Executive Council, and Mr. Kamen. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to help spread my message to others that you don't have to do this alone. I want to especially thank Governor Sununu for the support he has given me since the day I was sworn into office at the New Hampshire Supreme Court in January. We are so fortunate to have national news coverage for my inauguration, and my platform was featured on NBC Nightly News that night. Governor Sununu, the day you pledged me $3 million towards my cause in the state budget, I could have never expected that kind of amazing support when I started 5th grade at Auburn Village School a few months before that. Your support provided such a boost in my year in office. For those that I haven't met, my name is Charlie Olson, and I'm New Hampshire's Kid Governor. Kid Governor is a civics education program run in 5th grade classrooms all across the state that give kids like me a voice to speak up and make a difference. I have been so fortunate as Kid Governor to partner with so many great charitable organizations this year that are dedicated to helping kids with mental health issues. I'll tell you about a few things we have accomplished this year. At the end of May, I teamed up with Chief Justice John Broderick as presenters at the Magnify Voices Expressive Arts Contest Award Ceremony at the Tupelo Music Hall in Derry. We were also two of the judges for the middle school entries. The kids that entered the contest did some amazing work. There was a huge range of entries from essays, poems, songs, drawings, and paintings. On June 16th, I spoke at the New Hampshire Association of School Principals annual meeting. It was a great opportunity to remind our school leaders to make mental health a top priority. I also spoke to all of the New Hampshire school superintendents at the Grapponi Center in September. They were so supportive of my platform, and the standing ovation was pretty cool too. One of my favorite opportunities this summer was speaking to a group from Plymouth State University at the governor's residence in Concord. I was invited by New Hampshire's First Lady, Valerie Sununu, to share my experiences with childhood mental health at the meeting about the Choose Law program. It was very exciting to be part of something so important. My family and I even took a tour of the Bridges house and learned about its history with Mrs. Sununu. Another huge honor was having the National Alliance for Mental Illness ask me to be the kid keynote speaker for their annual international convention called NamiCon. We worked throughout the month of June and the beginning of July with a film crew to create a piece to be aired on July 27th. The conference was remote this year due to COVID. It was super cool to be part of such an amazing event. September has been a busy month. The great organization Reach One, Teach One, Love One is featuring me on their website for the month of September, Mental Health Awareness Month. Just this past weekend, I was able to kick off the 5K race in Exeter that was organized by Connor's Climb. My team was able to raise more than $6,000 for suicide prevention. We are sticking it to Stigma. Like Governor Sununu, I also work with an executive council. We work together on projects, and our counselors work on their own projects as well. One of my executive counselors, Olivia Triani, is here to joining us today. Olivia is a 6th grader at Poland School in Plastow, and she ran on a platform of equity of resources during the pandemic. Thank you for being here, Olivia. Last spring, we held drives for 3 homeless shelters in New Hampshire. The councilors collected items at their schools, and we delivered them to the shelters. Merrick Allen, an executive counselor from St. Barry Vanny School, is passionate about climate change. He designed an informational brochure at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, New Hampshire Institute of Politics printed it, and Merrick delivered them to all the stores all over Concord. It is awesome that their voices are heard and we are taking action together to make a difference. So, how did we get here? I live in Auburn, New Hampshire, and I love my town. I love our great state of New Hampshire, and I'm honored to represent the children of this state. I'm so excited to be the New Hampshire Kid Governor, but the reason I ran is because I want to help kids who may be suffering from depression. I've been so fortunate to have a voice to speak up and help kids that are struggling with depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. I am blessed with an amazing team of teachers and administrators at Auburn Village School. My teacher presented me with this challenge and gave me a voice to speak up and help kids that may be struggling with depression, and I am so grateful. Dr. Collins has been so supportive of me every step of the way, and I am very thankful. My journey with Kid Governor began with a personal narrative that I wrote in my language arts class at the same time that the Kid Governor program was being introduced in social studies. That's where my platform was born. I'd like to begin with the definition of a word. It's important that we understand what a stigma is. A stigma is when people look at you negatively because there's something different about you. Sometimes people who struggle with depression can feel embarrassed or ashamed because they think they're different. You may fall and skin your knee and you have no problem telling your teacher that your knee hurts. But if you're extremely sad and suffering mentally, you avoid talking about it because of the stigma. So, what do I have to be depressed about? I'm a straight-A student. I play several sports like soccer, baseball, golf, skiing, and I compete in triathlons. My favorite triathlon takes place at MIT every year. MIT is definitely at the top of my list, with St. A's, of course. I have a supporting, loving family and 2 sweet golden retrievers, Lazy Hank and Spunky Lola. I have a brilliant rock star sister who is a gymnast and will be a heart surgeon someday. My mom is an elementary school teacher and she has stayed home to take care of me and my sister. My dad is pretty amazing too. He's my biggest fan and supporter. I have tons of friends at school and beyond. My parents always said I was the happiest person they ever met in their life. Some would say I have the perfect life, and I do. But in mid-March 2020, all of that changed. My world and the rest of the world's lives changed in a big way. We began the COVID lockdowns, and we were separated and isolated from our friends. My perfect life didn't look perfect to me anymore, and I struggled with loneliness and fear that came with the quarantine orders. My doctor diagnosed me with situational depression. You might be wondering what depression feels like to a kid like me. When my mom would tuck me in at night, I would cry myself to sleep. I couldn't eat because I constantly had stomach aches. Turns out these were caused by the mind-body connections tied into my depression and anxiety. My joints ached for no physical reason. I was constantly stressed and worried about absolutely everything, including what school looked like last year and whether we would survive COVID or not. There is hope. If we can help kids understand what depression feels like, they can talk to a trusted adult, a counselor, or a coach who can help them. Or maybe they could even talk to a friend if they're feeling down. I want kids to know that they don't have to do this alone. Before the pandemic, approximately 3 million kids were diagnosed with depression in the U.S. This number does not include the kids that have gone undiagnosed. During the pandemic, children and adults have been struggling, and this number has gotten so much bigger. I want to raise awareness of this important issue. I want to get kids the help and support that they need. Kids have been isolated from their friends. Kids are social beings. These kids that are suffering look just like me and my friends. They may look happy and perfect on the outside, but on the inside the struggle is real. We need to help our friends. You need to help the students of New Hampshire. That is why I am here today. During the pandemic, kids have not been able to see their friends face to face and hang out with each other. For a 10-year-old to go 1 year without seeing their friends, that's 10% of their life. Imagine a 50-year-old not being able to see their friends for 5 years. been repeating these things ever since I ran for kid governor, but I will say them again. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, you don't have to be afraid to talk about it. If you don't understand why you're not feeling fit like yourself, you don't have to be afraid to talk about it. If you're feeling sad and lonely, you don't have to be afraid to talk about it. If you're suddenly feeling physical pain for unknown reasons, you don't have to do this alone. If you feel like you're the only person that is struggling, you don't have to do this alone. And if you feel like things are hopeless, you don't have to do this alone. I've been spending my time as kid governor spreading the word and trying to eliminate the stigma associated with childhood depression. I have spoken to many groups and created materials to support kids that are suffering. Along with the Kid Governor program, I have created videos to be shared in all 5th grade classrooms throughout the state. I ran a poster contest to raise awareness of where kids can turn when they're feeling down. These posters will be hanging in schools throughout the state. I'm here today to speak to you about childhood depression. I'm also here today to ask for your help. We need to open up discussions and make sure students feel safe and confident to share how they are feeling. My 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Cohen, created the true feeling of family in her classroom. It made my classmates and me feel connected and that we belong together. Through that connection and things like daily class meetings, we all felt very comfortable sharing how we were feeling. Mrs. Cohen, by the way, is a finalist for the 2022 New Hampshire Teacher of the Year. This year, like most students in our state, I'm in school full-time in person, which feels great. My 6th grade teachers are also so amazing. But that fear of the pandemic and what still may happen is very real. The worries about needing to quarantine again or to go remote learning are still there. The fear of getting sick or losing a friend or family member still linger. I have learned through talking with many other children, the most important thing a trusted adult can do is listen. Don't try to fix the problem right away. Don't just reassure us that everything will be fine. Just listen and reassure us that you're there. And of course, steer us towards any additional support we may need. We can make the world a better place for kids. We can live happier lives and eliminate the stigma associated with mental health challenges. Our future is a world we get to create together. Join me in making a world a place that is free of stigma associated with childhood depression. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Can we get a picture with you?
Hydroxychloroquine.
Ask Charlie if you would vote yes or no on that Sunday. Hey, give me a break. You're using the kid as a propaganda tool.
Hey, guys.
Disgusting. Absurdly disgusting.
You are using this propaganda. You're children. You're right.
We're here fighting for that child.
I fight for children. I travel state to state fighting for children.
Your mandate's positive.
We're all in this race.
That child just made our
That's
point.
right, exactly. Your mandate's positive.
No more COVID time.
He just made our point.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you all. So on the tables here are some brochures about the Kristen McCullough coin that is a fundraiser for the first robotics program, which of course is created here in New Hampshire and is across the world. And it's a very important coin and a very important effort, and I hope you take a look at it today. Before I'm going to turn this over to Ted Gatzis for a close, but we are in a few minutes going to adjourn this part of the breakfast meeting, and then we will break down these tables.
State employees are fearful of their safety and have left the meeting, many of them. We need the state employees to be able to answer questions on the agenda, and they are part of this meeting. Therefore, this meeting is canceled.
Good.
Hold on, please.
Mission accomplished.
On the record.
Slow down to bring you to the right thing.
On the record. What's on? On the record. I just want to let
Everybody, please, exit this way. Thank you. Scare these hiring people anymore. Thank you, everybody. Mission accomplished. Walk through the whole crowd with no police officers here. They got officers here. They're great.